Good afternoon. Welcome to Options Tender. It's Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. Welcome, everybody. This is just a little bit later than I typically would do it. I was fixing the furnace, changing out the blower motor here today, so I got a little caught up. But not a whole lot to update, but we did get an incremental new high here on this doji candle. So let's check out the indicators to see if anything has happened. And I do want to include that the breadth had weakened a little bit on the stocks over in the S&P over their 50-day moving average. It did break back below 50%. So we're going to go through all of that on the daily time frame. We'll check out Bitcoin getting this nice large bounce and what I think is going to happen, and look at MJ quickly as well. Okay. So we have SPX. By the way, we're doing this intraday at about 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I usually get them out anywhere from noon to 1. But if you want to get these intraday, consider becoming a YouTube supporter. It comes with the Discord. We have lots of members coming in there. I love it. It's a great community. And it comes with that cheddar flow, the options flow, and the dark pool prints. And so join us in there. Share your trades. We have some great traders in there. Okay, so SPX on the daily time frame. You see this doji here today. We did get just a slight new high there, tagged it real quick. So with that high, let's check out some of these indicators. It's the same thing that we talked about yesterday. We're still at that resistance point right here that we've been looking at, this top. And what I think eventually is going to happen, and I don't know if it's going to happen this week. I don't know if at this point, now that we've wasted 2 days of the week, I can't imagine breaking any lows here. I would suspect that we start into next week getting some sort of equilibrium, okay? Volatility crushed, and so things aren't moving as rapidly. I know we had that big move on like volume after the spike down, but it seems that things are slowing down a bit. Doesn't mean that we can't have larger moves. I'm just saying that don't suspect that we would break these lows in 3 days coming up here. So maybe we do get our reversal that we're looking for. You have a couple gaps that are full, so those would protect the downside. And so let's see what happens for the rest of the week. Maybe we do test the lows. You have this nice gap here that I think we'll get to. But just it's a matter of when these things happen. You don't always get these sharp reversals at tops, okay, like a tweezer top right here. Sometimes they take time, and there's been situations where tops have formed, and you have 2 weeks in a row or so for that top. And I'm not talking like major tops like this, but things that just take four or 5 days. It seems like in one spot. All right, so let's see what happens, what price gives us. Now, with that said, we have our trend is still technically up. We have our moving averages that are pushing up sideways to up, but we're at resistance. Don't forget that. Semicolon oscillator starting to come down. Now, if I put on this board, I usually draw on this one. Now, with this, today's new high, and with my alerts that went off for the 50-day stocks over the 50-day moving average, it's coming down. We made this new high, but it's coming down here. Really what that's telling me, these stocks are holding the market up. Basically today, these stocks are holding the market up. Okay. Here's your MACD, RSI. Again, we have this divergence. We had a peak there, and we're coming off the top, but we made a new high. So you have negative divergence right here. All right, we're starting to get our crossover in the slow stochastic. That's what we're going to pay attention to that. And then you get your sell signal here past the 80. So looking good so far. Now, I think this is going to give you a whipsaw. We did cross back over. And you can argue, hey, now let's look to the upside. But I want to see what happens on a dip. All right, we didn't have a real dip yet. I want to see where price goes, and then where we get our bounce from, and you know, see what happens there. It's not, we're not going to go straight down. We still have to form more market structure on lower degrees if we're going to be negative at all. All right. DMARC. We have a 6 count so far. That's my arrow. So this is with the 13 exhaustion count. We got a reversal off of that, and we made an incremental new high, and we have a 6 count. So do we get a 13.9? Perhaps. No setup yet. I mean, the setup's there, the 13 exhaust, but 13.9 would be a more reliable count there. Let's go to SPY. We're going to look at the VIX too. All right, for SPY, you have these, we like to put on the divergences page. And so we have the money flow index, we had that negative divergence, and we're still looking for this to cycle lower. All right, getting the bounce in there, not a big bounce. We didn't circulate up here. In other words, volume was not involved. Here's your Bollinger Band. No setup here. If we do get up higher, we can get that Bollinger Band tag there with overbought situation, but no setup on this look here. As a matter of fact, the band's going sideways now instead of up. So it tells me that obviously price action is moving in big swings, but moving sideways. Elliott oscillator. Yep, we got to the green point. Now let's see if it's just a whipsaw and back to the red. That's what we discussed in past videos. VIX. All right, so looking at the VIX, I wasn't sure if we're going to make it down to this trend line here. We're holding on to this trend line. Closed above, gapped above it. Now let's put on the moving averages as well. Gapped above it. I thought it was going to regain this 100-day moving average in the 17, but looking like it's just making some structure here, some positive structure, and holding on to this trend line again. So we're looking for a high, and then a higher low there, and then a move up after this. So if you start seeing price break down and make new lows, obviously the market will be making highs, if not all-time highs. Let's go over to, let's check out Bitcoin. IBIT. All right, so here's what we were drawing last time we were on here, just looking at, so I'm looking at this wedge formation. We broke down from the wedge, and eventually we're going to get a back test at some point. I don't think this is the time yet. The structure looks incomplete, okay? So, you know, there's always a way to say, okay, well, we probably got this 1, 2, 3, 4, and this whole thing is a 5 in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get some sort of possible that this could be done, and we're making these higher lows, okay? I do think this correction could go further, but possible this is a wave 4. That's kind of what I'm getting at. All right, maybe this has this 1, 2, 3, and we're expanding 4, and now instead of that being 5, that became a 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Get this 4 correction, and usually wastes time. So usually you get flat patterns, triangles, and such, and we can draw that in if that's the case. What we'll end up doing, we'll see how it performs on any bounce higher, and then we'll look at that, see if it fills out this triangle or breaks out, comes to the gap area, and then has its last move to the downside. Now, I'm not relying on this channel. I'm just drawing it out there. This is what we do as technicians. We draw lines over and over, see what fits, see what holds. There's only 2 points here, so it's not a valid trend line. And let's just see how it works. We get back under it, then I'll probably just take this off and look for something else to occur. Okay. That's what I have there. And what MJ. So MJ, again, we're just looking ahead of time, looking for some sort of equilibrium. If this bottom holds, then we're looking for this to fill out before some sort of breakout, okay? It can go directly, but I imagine just like the market wants to go to the downside and has to form market structure, this one completed a full wave, a primary wave here. So we're looking for the the secondary or intermediate wave here to form, and maybe we get this other 1, 2, and then boom, you get this breakout here. So we'll see what the price action gives us, but it's looking good so far. In the lower time frames, this might have been one move. I don't really think so, or it's possible. Let's go to the 65. So I was looking at this. This is a flat pattern. All right, that's obvious. So it appears on this pullback, maybe we had some lower degree 1, 2, 3, and this big 4 because the 2 was so small. And you have that rule of alternation, and then 4, and then 5. So maybe we're pulling back. This is all one move. That's perhaps it is. If it breaks these lows, then I think that's going to be obvious, but nothing's ever obvious in the market. So this might also be a 1, 2, 1, 2, and continue higher. Okay. All right, let's go to SPY on the 65. And again, I'm waiting to, the options aren't available on Tilray, but I'm looking to trade those. So check us out in the Discord. I'll be, when those are available, I'll be looking for some longs there in the market. Okay. So here's some wedge. The wedge broke down. We broke out of the wedge to the upside, and now we're forming another wedge. We'll see what happens with this price action. It's just really messy. Is it nesting to go lower, or are we consolidating for one last move to close this gap? I don't have that information. I'm trying to figure out. So we have this new high that came here today. And so if we put this line right there, this trend line right on the bottom, let's see if this holds, or if it fills out the wedge a little bit higher. All right, and then we'll have this wedge top here as well. Okay, so that's how we'll look at that. Here's our trend. It's up. We're holding on. Momentum still up. Holding on to the 20. Holding on to the 8. And today, now you could burn through this, but today still technically we made another divergent high. Now price action again, we could make this new high here and burn the divergence, but the setup is certainly there. Now we did have this crossover, bullish crossover. So again, do we cycle up here? It's not, it's leaving us in limbo here. The key level where a lot of dark pools are coming in at right now is about 680, and that's what's holding price up so far. All right, and we still have the sell signal on the MACD. To me, this is the dominant situation. But if we get the cross back over here, then we should be going a lot higher. But if price is able to get a little bit higher, close this gap or so, we're just again forming divergences once again. So you already have this one with we now have a divergence. We didn't have this before. We now have a confirmed divergence with this incremental new high, this spike up here. All right, so the setup's lower, whether it goes up a little bit higher or not. All right, D-Mark, we had that 13, looks like 9, looks like we're trying to set up a 13. There's no setup here, 1, 2, 3, 4, no setup there. Money flow index, money is flowing out. We even had that new divergence, like I said, right there with this brand new high. It's distribution. With the Bollinger Band, we're looking at possibly, look how tight it's getting. Yeah, that's contraction leads to expansion, but we'll see which way it leads us, okay? No actual sell signal, no actual buy signal. We're in the middle. We're not at any length of the higher or lower of the band. And there, more divergence as we speak, okay? So we're into this divergence mode, wasting time, theta decay. Make sure your options are out further. All right, then you know, that's what in my mind, that's what happens. You know, you're I'm sure a lot of people were in Monday puts and Tuesday. I had some Tuesday puts. My swings are much further, but I had some Tuesday puts, and those weren't worthless. Okay, and that's what price action likes to do. If you know, weighing heavy on puts, and they'll either drag you out or force you to squeeze, force you to close. Okay, now that's just about it. Let's put on the 65 minute here and see. This is kind of the trend line that we're trying to hold. I know it's not perfect. The VIX is very volatile, moves around, no pun intended, but still making these higher highs and higher lows so far. Yep, low, higher low, higher low, even a higher low so far as we speak. So let's see if we break this, break out, make any movement for the rest of the week. Okay, thanks for joining us here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for all the support, you guys. We'll see you in the next video.